Are you a business owner looking for real advice and input? You're in the right place. From concept to launch to growth, funding, and beyond. Welcome to Startup Hustle with your hosts. One once sold a business for $150 million. The other, the author of $1 Million Bedroom. Here are your hosts of Startup Hustle, Matt DeCoursey and Matt Watson.
And we're back. Another episode of Startup Hustle. Matt DeCoursey here with Matt Watson. Hi, Matt.
What's going on, man?
I'm trying to figure out what I want to buy, and I keep getting all these weird ads.
I'm exhausted by it, too.
By weird ads or just in general?
Yeah, I mean, I keep seeing these weird ads. Like, I went and shopped for something, and I'm getting these creepy ads. Like, I think it knows that I need to buy something.
I don't know if that's true, but maybe it does. But at the same time, I mean, have you been buying stuff?
Well, I bought my girlfriend a gift, and it keeps thinking I need to buy her a lot more of them, I think.
Interesting.
I keep getting all these ads for pretty things.
You know, Matt, there's one thing about this podcast that just seems to be amazing is that this situational stuff just seems to overlap so well with the people that come in to talk with us.
Wow, really?
Yeah, because
somebody that can tell us about this?
Yeah, we were just talking about ad tech and tracking and targeting and who knows. And I just happened to have someone here today that can tell us all about it. Kyle Johnson, who's the founder and CEO of Bixy, is here. Hi, Kyle.
Hey, guys.
What's going on?
What an amazing coincidence.
I know. Imagine that.
I know. It's shocking. I don't know how that happened.
Do you think he can help us do enough ads to win an election or something?
Possibly.
I bet he knows how to help.
This was a lot of money.
This was targeted scheduling, apparently.
I think he knows how to win elections, probably.
Know how to rig them, not win them. But yeah.
Well, yeah. So, Kyle, you're the CEO and founder of Bixy. This is an app-based product that does a lot of different stuff related to ad tech, which is a pretty broad category. And, you know, for those of you listening, we love it when you get interactive with these things. So if you want to go to the app store, any app store, download Bixy app. It's Bixy. You can check it out while we talk. As we get into this topic, let's start by hearing a little bit about what you guys do and the problem you guys solve.
Sure. I think it's easiest to think of us as consumer-controlled data, if you will. So data today powers ads. Most of the ads are irrelevant. There's too many of them. We get bombarded. I think most consumers feel pretty bombarded and tracked. Certainly after the last election, I think it finally hit people how much they get tracked and how much that data can get sold to not only marketers, but also bad actors.
Well, the most creepiest thing, I swear to God, there's been times I've been talking to you about something, and then I pull up my phone and there's an ad for it.
Yep.
So and
I don't know if that's even a thing. Maybe you can tell us.
Oh, yeah, it's a thing.
But oh my God, it's creepy.
Well, it is and it isn't, because what you were just talking about with some of the data and bad actors and stuff like that, there's a really popular documentary that just came out on Netflix. I think it's called Get Hacked.
Okay.
And it's about Cambridge Analytica and who once on the path to be a $1 billion company, then now out of business.
Right.
But they were harvesting, they would get it's either 4 or 40,000 data points about you, in which they were using that to basically predict your personality. Yeah. So they actually address that, Matt. So sometimes you see something, you're like, gosh, is my phone listening to me? It could be, but in some cases, they are just literally that good at predicting who you are. So they were using that data at Cambridge Analytica. It wasn't about it was like that 80-20 thing. So 40% of people that were Republicans or Democrats were pretty set in their ways. So they figured out the 20% of people that could be swung one way or the other, and that's who they hammered the shit out of. Yeah. And it is pretty creepy. I mean, some of the things, they're looking at a lot of stuff. And the main issue at the time that you didn't have the ability to opt out of that. Yeah. And now you do.
You didn't even know that it existed. Well, and the thing is there's a difference between a legit marketer, let's say, Starbucks, because I got this Starbucks coffee here, right? Starbucks is different than a Russian troll farm. So marketers need data. They need to connect with consumers. But how do we do this in a way that doesn't jeopardize society?
Same thing with Stackify or Full Scale, right? We want to advertise to software development managers about our
exactly.
services.
And that is
and by the way, thank you for reminding me to mention that this podcast is brought to you by Fullscale.io because these giant letters on the top of my notes were not enough.
Not enough.
Man, we recorded like 107 of these, and I've done the intro the same way, so now they're trying to change something.
You don't have it down by now.
Today is, without a doubt, on track to be the most professional podcast that we've ever done. Thank you, Matt.
We'll get there.
Yeah, sorry, that was my sound effect.
By the way, Kyle, and thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. This is going to be an interesting topic. But, yeah, no one will target unneeded noise making better than Watson.
I'm always looking for
You
devices.
find it. You find ways
that
to
was
make
good.
it happen. That was.
Yeah. Now I do want to point out that coffee mug was a gift from our guests at Ocean and Sea.
Yeah, I do love their shirts.
Yeah, they brought some shirts
nice.
and some coffee cups, of which we now learn also may have a suction cup on the bottom.
I bought one of their shirts and took it all the way to the Philippines. So
I saw it.
Yeah,
I saw it.
They have gone global, even if they don't know
Global
it. Yeah.
promotional.
Yeah, so is this podcast. Apparently, we're up to 177 countries.
Oh,
Who are you people?
what, the countries?
Yeah, man. We've had listeners in 177 countries,
nice.
which is crazy.
It's
I didn't
crazy.
even realize that we're running out of countries.
Yep.
We're going to figure out who they are, and then we're going to target how we get our info.
We definitely need to know everything about them.
So let's talk about that. Let's say that. So, and by the way, thank you for addressing the problem of handling or trying to handle people's data in a tasteful and responsible way. That data it's crazy. So in this documentary I was watching, one of the people that was in it was claiming that data is now the most valuable resource on the planet.
Yeah.
That it actually has exceeded the value of like oil.
Well, at Stackify, we're a data company.
Yeah.
So we collect data for our customers and give them insights and analytics. And
True.
that's what we do.
So let's talk about what you guys are doing and how you're doing it different.
Well, so if maybe just to back up a little bit and give you some context about why my company exists, how I
That'd be good too.
Yeah, just realize that the problem was, out there. So I, in a former life for Accenture was a consultant. I traveled all the time. I wanted all forms of, audio content on demand, and basically music, podcasts, etc. This is in the days before Spotify and other on-demand streaming services. So I left Accenture to build that, and Pandora went public like 9 months later. I looked at their financials. I realized there's no way to make money in music.
I don't think there is still.
There isn't.
Well, there is and there isn't. I mean,
There isn't and there isn't.
Yes and
streaming
no.
music.
I just
music.
published a book about the music industry. It just came out last week, and it has changed so dramatically.
Oh, yeah.
But that's the thing is with technology and your business, like you have to be prepared. Like I know a guy in New York that opened a that built a photo sharing app, and like I'm talking like $4 million of funding in it. They launched, and then like 6 weeks later, Google and Facebook came out with the exact same thing for free. And you have to like have some thought. You have to give some thought to that. Like, can the 800-pound gorilla in the room just reach out and smack you?
Right, and well,
or is there a way to monetize it? Because what you're talking about is this world of free.
Yeah.
Like, do people
Free
buy
content.
albums anymore?
No.
I mean, yeah. I like, and as an author, like one of the things that I have to do is to basically still get people to read things is like Kindle Unlimited is like this streaming audio of books, and I get a penny a page.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you buy my book, I might get like an $8 royalty, but if you read it through Kindle Unlimited and you read all the pages, I'm going to get about $3.
Right.
So it's like, huh. But, all right.
Yeah, and in the streaming world, artists, labels, they get fractions of a penny per stream. So you're going to have to do a whole lot of streaming in order to see any kind of money from that. So it's just easier to make money from touring. And so basically not enough, what you said is right, free. Basically media, the vast majority of media is deemed free.
Yeah.
And it's really the fault of the traditional media companies when the internet came out. They just put it online and they're like, hey, let's put our media there. So they set the expectation that it was going to be free.
That expectation might have been set like literally when the radio came out and we started broadcasting, and then TV. I mean, that was the big thing when cable, that transition to everyone being on cable, was so many legislatures and everyone like, you still have to give something for free.
Yeah. Well, I love that we pay for cable TV to then watch ads on cable TV. That's a whole nother rant.
Right.
But and we'll get into that in a second, Matt, because before we hit record, we were talking about some of that targeting. Like, you were actually thankful. You were happy that Hulu had asked you what kind of ads do you want to see. All right.
Yes. So I would say that consumers like choice, right? Anytime you can give them choice and preferably value at the same time.
But too many choices makes it really hard to sell stuff, too.
Absolutely.
It gave me 3.
So we'll go back to Bixy, sorry. And which, by the way, go download it in the App Store while you're listening, because we know you have your phone in your hand, because we all do.
So, big picture, they put media online. People expected it to be free. They started then figuring out, oh, crap, we got to monetize this media. Let's put ads all over the place. Now the ads are irrelevant. People are ignoring them. Maybe if we track what they do on our website, we'll be able to target the ads a little bit better. And, well, that's not working very well. Let's track them everywhere, and let's read everything they write and listen to everything they say. And that, kind of fast forward, that's where we're at today. The ads still aren't good enough. With all this tracking we have, study after study shows that ad click-through rates are abysmal. So what do you do about it?
They're like 0.1%.
Yeah, exactly, or less.
But that's due to oversaturation, which is what you just described. Like, so, and I know that newspapers aren't like, well, I mean, what's a newspaper? But I used to live in Washington, D.C., and I ran a chain of retail stores over a decade ago. And for an ad in the Washington Post that was the size of a business card, it was like $1,500.
Yeah.
Now, the thing is there's enough paper in the Washington Post for you to cover all inside surfaces in the average American home. So but think about,
wow.
You're Watson's raising an eyebrow. And by the way, if you want to actually see that, the look on his face, we do have a YouTube channel for this now, so check it out. Yeah, you can see how beautiful all of us are and how we don't have faces made for radio.
Matt is beautiful.
Yes, and Kyle is too. By the way, my middle name is Kyle, so we can cross over there too. But so think about that. So if I come in your home and I cover everything with newspaper, and now I say, okay, now find the business card size ad that's relevant to what I'm selling.
Good luck.
Yeah, good luck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so and that's what's hard about ads, and that's why targeting does actually matter, right?
Targeting makes sense. I would say that the ad tech world, so this isn't the fault of marketers or ad agencies who are trying to get the right ad in front of the right person. It's the fault of the ad tech world. They kind of just perpetually are reacting instead of getting out in front of the issue and just figuring out, what do consumers want? Let's figure out how to give them value and put them in charge of their own data and turn these ad units on websites into pieces of content that they actually crave. So that's basically our mission. And we've figured out with respect to consumer data, you need to give them transparency, control, and value. Transparency and control are the easy parts. Value is the very tricky part. So meaning, you could tell people, hey, fill out this survey, and we're going to target your ads based on this survey. But is anybody going to do that without value? No. I'm not going to fill out some stupid survey just so that you can target something that target me with ads, and I already ignore the ads. You're going to have to figure out how to give me value. And so what consumers really want, in our opinion, is the ability to connect with brands that they either care about or might care about. Mm-hmm. Just help me find the right thing. Help make my shopping experience easier, or enrich it in some way, or help me save money on stuff that I want to buy. It's that simple. But the ad tech world has not been focused on that. They've been focused on tracking and targeting. But what the hell does that even mean if you haven't fundamentally already figured out how to give me value? Now you're just moving bits and bytes around. So we believe that consumers need their own platform, separate from Facebook and separate from other major consumer platforms. That's really just about how do I connect with my favorite brands and engage with them, and how do they engage with me?
And so how does this work exactly? So if from when we've talked before, I think if I can try and summarize it myself, and then you tell me if I'm right.
Sure.
Like I like Tommy Bahama. I like Vineyard Vines. I like Lacoste. I like these different brands. I like electric cars. There's like different things I like, right? So if I could go in and say, you know what, odds are I'm going to buy something from Lacoste or Tommy Bahama or whatever once a quarter.
Right.
So show me ads, show me promotions, give me coupons, remind me that I need to go buy that stuff every quarter, right? Like, so that I would like to see that, because that would remind me of Lacoste came out with some new shirt that's a different color, and I get real excited, and I get 10% off if I go buy it.
Yep.
Right? I mean, is that kind of what we're talking about?
Or even know that it exists.
And know that, absolutely. Know that it even exists. I'll buy that shirt.
I'm pretty well known amongst my peers as having a sneaker problem.
Yes.
I'm
my God.
Like, for real. I don't know.
You getting ads for sneakers is probably bad. That's a bad life decision for you.
It can be, but here's the thing.
To cut this man off.
But more,
he's reached the limit.
But well, according to my wife, I have, yes, and maybe my closet too. But here's the thing. So, and especially, I like gold sneakers.
Okay.
Right, like, and Matt does too,
Yep.
and so whatever. So, like, I'm cool with you serving me an ad that shows me a new pair of Nikes or Adidas or something that comes out. Like, I see them, and that's actually effective, and I'm cool with that. Where, like you mentioned before the podcast, you're like, so you'd said something like Hulu had asked, like, what kind of ads do you maybe want to see? And like, because here's the thing, if I've got to see them, I'd rather see ones that I give a shit about.
Exactly.
Or at least that I find interesting.
Yeah. Right.
And then, by the way, some advertisers too are actually entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, some ads, even though I might not buy your product,
there's comedic value.
I am amused by your presentation or your approach, and I appreciate it.
I don't need to see ads for weird pharmaceutical drugs that are some obscure shit, or CPAP machines, or like some of the weird stuff you see, especially on daytime TV.
I buy all my Viagra from the spam emails that I get offering it as well, and the Cialis and all that, because they seem legit.
Yeah.
Now I'm still waiting on the shipment, but they say, I think they're coming. I've been giving
but
them
at least
my
you
bank
gave them
account
your social security number.
I felt like that there was a good
personal
reason for that.
Yeah. Glad you got that problem handled.
So I was doing it for a friend. Yeah.
But the point is, the ads, the ads being more targeted is better, right? Just like if I go to YouTube and I have to watch an ad, I'd rather it be something more interesting than...
Exactly. And I think all people would, like, are we going to pay for all the media we consume? No. So we're going to see ads, so the ads might as well be good. So how do you make them good? You don't make them good by trying to figure out everything about me, like digging through my trash can is effectively what tracking is. Watching me through my window, that you're not going to learn as much as you want to learn, as if you would just ask me what I want.
Yeah.
And I'll gladly tell you in exchange for different forms of value, and value could be saving money.
Give me coupons to Tommy Bahama.
Yeah, exactly. So
I might spend more money than I should, but it's okay.
So and that's what you guys do. Is
that's what we're figuring out how to do. We're still, I would say, we're a mid seed stage company.
You've got a big idea.
Yeah, we got a big idea.
You got some of it figured out.
We've got it pretty well figured out.
You're one pivot away from ruling the world.
Well, we're not a pivot away. Now we're
right.
Oh, Watson, I don't write down many of your quotes, but that one is, I feel like that is like T-shirt worthy. Like, I'm one pivot away from ruling the world.
There you go.
Spoken by Master Watson.
That's right.
So, kind of where we're at right now is we now have national brands paying us to run kind of pilot campaigns. So, actually, Vineyard Vines, we know their agency, and so anyway, we've got now hundreds of national brands in the platform.
I'm wearing my Tommy Bahama shirt.
There you go. We gotta figure out who runs that account and get them in.
They're listening right now, I'm sure.
I'm sure they are.
Totally.
Well, we will promptly target
so with your app, I mean, what you're also doing is I can earn points and receive like personalized rewards or whatever. So in order to sell more, you have to either explain the benefit of things, you have to provide value, and like helping me save money, like I'm cool with that. Like, I mean, if you're gonna send me like you said, send me a $20 coupon.
Yeah.
On something like that, I might be okay, sure. That makes sense. I mean, rather than serving the same.
I mean, for example, Tommy Bahama, I literally threw away a $50 coupon yesterday because last time I was there, I spent $200 or whatever it is, and because of that, they give you $50 because they want you to come back. I literally threw it away. Yeah. Now, if they were smart, they'd keep showing me those ads every week, and maybe it cost them a couple pennies to do that. And eventually, I would click that button and I would go spend another $200.
And this is where it gets back to the data is the real gold. They really don't. They don't have an easy way to figure out who's throwing that away because they don't want it, who's throwing it away
because they don't care.
Because they forgot.
Yeah.
Or they don't care. There's a lot of different reasons. They're trying to get their hands on that kind of data, and we're building them a platform so that they can ask.
Yeah, I'm asking them, please give me coupons, please show me your cool new shit, and I will go buy it.
Exactly.
I just want to know when it comes out, and I want to get excited about it, and tell me how I save a few dollars.
So we call these things conversations as opposed to campaigns, right? So today in the ad world, the notion is we're going to run an ad campaign, right? Which is very much a one-way kind of thing. We're going to put some banner ads or some videos or some TV ads or some newspaper ads or whatever in front of your face, and you're going to see us, and then that's going to trigger you to go buy something. We think advertisers, marketers need to be having conversations with people, which is kind of a series of interactive steps. Which could be a survey, could be a video that leads to an offer.
Kyle, that's well put, because in the writing that I've done, I've had a lot of people, like Matt and I became friends after he had a conversation with me in a book that I published, and and I used to, at first I was like, hey, can I interview you? But that's almost like an aggressive. That's an aggressive word, because and this is fact shaping. Like back to how are you presenting yourself? Like having a conversation with someone is very unintimidating. Like I even said that before we hit record. Like this is a conversation. We're going to talk about stuff. It's not like we're going to interview you. I'm going to grill you and ask you really tough questions that you may or may not want to answer, and you're screwed if you give the wrong answer because I'm publishing it everywhere. How about that?
Yeah, that would.
Was that evil?
That'd get a lot of people in here.
I'm trying to work on my voice acting skills. I just had to pay someone to do the audible for my latest book, so I feel like I've got an opportunity there.
There you go.
But yeah, so that term conversation is well stated. So like, hey, let's have a conversation about what we can do to give you some value and help you define. Like, because look, here's the thing: you're going to see the ads, you're going to see the stuff, you're going to see the stuff anyway. So I like it. So if you guys want to follow Bixy on Instagram, it's Team Bixy. That's Bixy, and they have an app page. You got 1,000 people following this stuff, man. So and here they talk about you guys have some connections when it comes to food and drink, health, entertainment, fitness, family, retail, travel, services, automotive stuff. I'm sure you do a lot more than that too, but. That's just some of the stuff, right?
I think restaurants would make a lot of sense too, right? Like I go to Panera all the time or whatever it is. Like if they constantly were like, oh, by the way, you can save $1 or whatever. Just come on in.
So there are, all right. So now let's kind of challenge this a little bit though. So there's a lot of stuff that you can get coupons and stuff on. Right. So where's the differentiator, or like where are you doing something different, or how do you compete with?
Yeah,
because you can Google and ask for a coupon.
Yep.
Which, by the way, I never do, as I'm constantly buying things online. But
a lot of people do, and so let's talk about maybe the competitive landscape.
Sure.
Then. There's a couple of different categories that we're mostly indirect competitors with. There's the data companies that sell your data. There's the like the Experian, Equifax, a lot of high-profile data breaches recently in that camp. So they have a ton of data about you. Then there's the major consumer platform companies like Facebook, Google, Amazon. They also sell your data and make money off of it. Then there's the coupon platform types of companies like the Ebates and the coupons.com and the Retail Me Not. And those guys are called affiliate marketing publishers.
Yep.
So
they're giving, like you mentioned Ebates. So they're basically earning an affiliate fee when you buy something, and then Ebates model is giving you a piece back of that.
A piece back,
yeah.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
That's my wife's largest form of income at the moment.
Okay, there you go. It's the
I look for. I never throw away the Ebates
That's
envelope.
awesome.
It actually has money in it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we are technically, and none of those companies provide you, with respect to your data, transparency, control, and value from the data, right? The one that provides you the most value related to commerce, arguably, would be the coupon type companies, the Ebates. They're directly commerce related. They're saving you money. So what we are is an affiliate publisher that is focused on personalization. So we're taking coupons, this existing affiliate model, but we're using them for a very different purpose. Let's figure out, what is this person like? Let's put the coupon inside of this overall conversation that is a lot smarter than just a one-off coupon thing, right? Because a lot of times what happens is somebody does know that they're in market for jeans, and then they go Google like brand name jeans coupon. There's the coupon. They go find it on Retail Me Not. They use the coupon code. Retail Me Not gets the commission.
Yeah.
But that wasn't good for that jeans company. So
because it didn't really entice a new sale.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
The coupon was
my example earlier. Like, I'm gonna go to Chipotle to lunch today, probably no matter what, right? So it's like, who do you give the ad to, the coupon to, that actually entices a new sale?
Yeah.
So
how do you drive behavior as opposed to just discount and
Yeah.
erode margins of the brands?
Right.
By the way, we're terrible affiliate marketers here at Startup Hustle. We've given ads to Tommy Bahama multiple times today for free, to Chipotle, to Starbucks.
Right.
When the real people we need to be thanking
money.
are guys like Stephen Ford at Penco, who send us golden bedazzled pens.
So I'm looking at the Bixy app, and this you get some, and there's a tab in here for brands, and I'm looking at like Best Buy, GameStop, McDonald's, Macy's. So do you have partnerships with all these people?
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. And there's some local ones in here, like Fuzzy's Tacos. They have amazing tacos. Like, I would love some fuzzy tacos.
Maybe
for
you
lunch.
should go there instead of Chipotle.
Yeah, Fuzzy
and use
Tacos.
the
for
Bixy
lunch.
app.
Yeah. Breakout KC.
They were recently in here. Yeah.
Chartreuse Caboose. Like, you got a lot of local restaurants and stuff in here. It's cool.
So maybe just to give you a little bit of context there. So we ran a local pilot in Lawrence and Kansas City to figure out just the basic usability of the app. And then we started to branch out and get these national brands into the app and figure that whole thing out. In a couple of months, not only will we have local brands available in the KC Metro, but we'll have local brands available across 120 markets in the U.S. and Canada. So we really think that the local national mix is really important.
Yeah.
If you're a person in, let's say, Las Vegas, it's just as important to that person to find discounts at restaurants in their area or retail in their area.
Well, then so many of these brands are just everywhere too. So
yeah,
I mean, like
there's
that national,
there's
it's
national
like that blanket
chains.
coverage. I mean, like you mentioned Best Buy. I mean,
it's
they're around.
So yeah, I mean, back to the competitive landscape, there's the coupon guys. They traffic primarily in national brands with an online presence, right? And we think that it's important to have local and national, in-store and online. Like, you have to have very good coverage. But then you can't just be a coupon app. You have to use that in the context of a broader conversation, because brands aren't just trying to send out coupons. In fact, they'd like to do that a little bit less. But they'd like it to be more strategic. So a lot of times
and that's us to avoid like the Retail Me Not scenario where they're not really like,
they're just eroding their margins.
Affiliate marketing is performance-based marketing. Like, the whole concept behind it is, I'm going to pay you if you produce a sale, not necessarily if you just kind of
glom onto it.
Leech a discount.
At the very end.
Yeah.
I mean, that's interesting to think about, though. But to my point earlier, like, I'm gonna have lunch today, and this is sponsored by Panera and Chipotle, I guess.
It's really not.
It's not.
It's
But,
brought
like,
to you by
That's too bad.
Fullscale.
Yeah, if I'm gonna go have lunch,
If
odds
only.
are today I'm gonna eat lunch at Panera or Chipotle.
Yeah.
If one of them gave me a discount, would I pick one or the over the other? Maybe. I mean, I'm
Well,
gonna buy either one of them.
You're broadening your choices. Earlier, you were just going to one. Now you're going to two.
But, I mean,
and now by the end of the podcast, you may go to Fuzzy's Tacos because the Bixy app may entice you to do so.
But to like you have a coffee from Starbucks, right? Like maybe you're going to Starbucks no matter what, and if they gave you coupons, it's just eroding their margin. I don't know, but would you go to Starbucks more often? Maybe you'd go 7 days a week instead of 4. I mean, that's. I mean, I don't know, right?
Well, absolutely. I have their loyalty app, right?
Yep.
But so there's this whole psychographics about why do people make the purchase decisions they make, and what do they specifically need in order to enhance value with a particular brand. So, so the reason I use the Starbucks loyalty app isn't because I want to save money on the Starbucks per se. I mean, I guess that would be nice. But actually because the Starbucks app
If you're buying $6 coffee, you don't care about saving money, probably.
True. Exactly. So now granted, I think my coffee here, a Grande Blonde roast coffee, I think is like $2.60-ish or something like that. But I use their app because it speeds up my checkout process. So there are different ways to add value depending on the price point, depending on the industry vertical. All these different kinds of brands need different things. And that's why a coupon app isn't like that cannot be the end all be all. You have to have these conversations that are interactive, that involve surveys and video and influence marketing, but that also save people money. So that's what makes our product roadmap, particularly large, and that's just the consumer side of things, let alone the brand side of things. So what you see in the app right now is very different than what you'll see in the app in 3, 6, 9, 12 months, because now that we're running these pilots with national brands, now we're talking to their ad agencies and to the brands themselves, and we really understand what they want. So they want incentivized video, they want email opt-in, they want all sorts of different things. So we're building out these interactive experiences.
You're one pivot away.
Well, we're not. I don't think. We're not a pivot.
You're almost there, right?
Just building features, man.
You just got to figure out which of those ends up. I mean, there could be one of those all of a sudden. It's like, wow, this one just like.
Yeah, it's a lot of things that add up to a better and better and better experience.
So,
but that's part of the problem as a software company, though, is it's so easy to do this and this and this and this and this and this. Next thing you know, you're like, oh, we did 20 all these things, and I don't know.
I want to pivot for a second because we're talking about targeted marketing, targeted advertising. So if I have a startup, as someone who's a subject matter expert on this, what's the best way for me to target my product to the people that I'm most likely to be received to? Because you're talking about a lot of retail stuff, food, things like that. Yeah. But what about just in general? Like for example,
there's no such thing.
Director of software development. At what companies?
Or
whatever, right?
It all depends on what you're trying to do, unfortunately. So if you're a B2B company versus a B2C company, if you're trying to advertise for hiring as opposed to like your end consumer.
I think that first starts out to figure out which body of water are the most fish swimming in that are going to take your bait on some level. I know that's kind of a basic analogy, but like Matt, you were just mentioning, like I said you're like director of software development. So like, for example, that would be something I would find a lot easier on a place like LinkedIn.
Yep.
But if I'm Chipotle, maybe not. I mean, it could be, but probably not.
No.
Yeah, like that's not the so I think first determining where that medium.
You mean Chipotle hiring people?
No, I meant like trying to get me
to buy
nachos.
Eat a burrito bowl. Yeah,
I'm getting hungry.
Yeah. LinkedIn's not going to be the.
It is lunchtime.
The publisher.
Are we going to Chipotle or Panera
really
today?
Not. No, we're going to Fuzzy's Taco. We're using and then I'm gonna just order it and not eat anything because I'm on the frickin' keto diet.
Oh
again.
man!
So I'm just gonna like throw away the taco shell.
Just give me the chicken.
I guess
Chicken and
I'm
cheese.
that guy now.
Well,
Yeah, I went on the keto.
Best
off
of
the
luck,
keto,
sir.
And then all this targeted advertising got me eating gummy bears again.
did it?
No, not really. Speaking of targeting marketing, do you know that we're following Team Bixy on Instagram now?
Oh,
Fantastic.
what's our Instagram account again?
At Startup Hustle Podcast.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, we just
That
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It does. It was targeted. It was well shaped. So with that, and my second pivot of the episode, I'm ready to play mixtape. Have you ever played mixtape?
I haven't.
So, mixtapethegame.com. I have pulled a card from the mixtape deck. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And and I am going to. We have a little different. Normally, I would name a scenario, and we're all going to name a song.
Okay.
And then we would choose. But we got a little different twist today.
Oh, no.
The favorite concert that you have experienced in person live.
Oh, wow.
Me was Humphreys McGee at Red Rocks 5 or 6 years ago. Sold out show. I've mentioned before, I'm friends with the band. We went on the stage after and backstage at Red Rocks. I will never forget that. It was an amazing experience, and unfortunately that occurred before weed was legal in Colorado.
Okay.
Didn't stop me. It didn't stop me anyway, but yeah, no, but it was a great time. Jill went with me, and that was my favorite concert experience.
You up?
Sure. So my favorite, I've been to a lot of concerts. The one I always remember that was so fun was LMFAO and Kesha together. And I remember for LMFAO, they were the party rock guys. Mm-hmm. They were amazing, and they just killed it. They were the best opening band I've ever seen in my life. They're just amazing performers, and
that's awesome.
I always remember them. So.
Okay.
Yep.
I would have to go with, I love music, but I don't get to enough shows. But I did see the Lumineers a couple years ago in Kansas City, whenever that was. That was awesome. I like them a lot.
Okay. You need to come out to one of our Sweet and Greet events and come see a show at the Sprint Center. We do our version of targeted networking, we could say. But we wanted to change networking here locally, so we have local entrepreneurs, investors, influencers, and we come and see cool shows. There are 8 of them in September.
Oh, wow.
And then 8 gymnastics meets in August, which I'll let you know how those go.
You can go to JoJo Siwa.
Actually, you can't. That's the most in-demand sweet event. I've had more people contact me about wanting to bring. I'm probably going to have to have a
If you had a young daughter, you would know what that is.
Gotcha. I'm hoping that I didn't just make myself look really uncool.
No,
I didn't either.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Totally
I can't vote for your option, so I'm going with Kyle.
All right.
Oh, you're just doing that because I'm not.
No, I'm really not.
All right.
No, I trust me. While I normally do,
you mean
I normally try to not vote for Matt, but today this is just good. It's just
from the heart.
I have to pick the better of the two options.
Who are you voting for?
Between your two?
You can't vote for yourself.
What was yours again?
I went with the band you've probably never heard of, with Humphreys McGee at Red Rocks, with a backstage experience included. My second choice was when they opened for Dave Matthews Band for 50,000 people, and we had backstage passes for that, where I did not meet Dave Matthews.
Look, here's the thing. I just got to go with backstage passes. So, yeah, that Matt wins.
All right.
But
I'm also going to vote for you.
not because I don't like the other Matt.
Dude, yes!
Every once in a while, you win in life.
You killed it.
Every once in a while.
I'm going to sound like a dick when I say this. I've literally had so many backstage passes that my guitar case at home is covered with them. I've run out of room to put them on things.
Wow.
So very happy. I've been very fortunate, and it's been fun. Thank you for everyone that's hooked me up. I told you I work for the music industry for a while. So we're recording this on August 8th, which is 808 Day, Roland's famous synthesizer. Okay, so yes. Yes. Hang on. Hang on. Let me tally my wins.
Oh.
Yep.
Keeping track.
Hey, at least we didn't have to read Baby Loves Coding this episode.
Not yet.
Okay, so as we kind of round this out, and first off, go to Instagram, follow Team Bixy, go download their app. You guys, dude, first off, you sent a presentation deck over. That looks great, by the way.
Thanks, man.
I didn't have I got it about. In true startup hustle fashion, I received it moments before I walked in.
Man, I'm right there with you.
The team of the preparation that occurs You listeners would just be shocked at how detailed we are. But yeah, go check that out and download the app. But dude, I was looking through it, and I want to say a couple things. Is one, very great presentation there. Like I mean it. That's important. And when you're trying to present and target your stuff or get people interested in it, there's one way to get them to not be interested in it, and that's a shitty presentation. So you were the opposite of that. So, so a few things as we kind of round this out. And thanks for coming in. I really do appreciate it. So the targeted marketing approach. You know, and I mentioned, like, how do I target something? You're like, it's not really possible. I mean, well, it is and it isn't.
Yeah, it's just different,
it's just a giant sea of stuff.
Yeah, there's a giant sea of stuff, which is why you would hire an ad agency if you've got a big marketing budget, because they're supposedly...
But startups usually don't.
They don't. Yeah, exactly. Well, so startups, what I would say to a early stage startup, it's really just about your product and then getting the first 10 customers and the next 100, you know? Like, you really just need to understand your customer more than you need to understand how to scale it. You do need to understand user acquisition or customer acquisition and all that kind of thing, but you really don't need to go blow money on ads.
Most people make the fatal mistake of not spending enough time talking to their customer.
Absolutely. They don't spend enough time talking to their customer, so they build the wrong thing, and then they don't understand their user acquisition or their customer acquisition funnel.
Yeah, I made these mistakes.
Everybody makes the same mistakes. It's brutal.
Rookies.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all there at one point or another. So yeah, I mean, I think the first thing a startup needs to worry about is frankly not advertising. It's really, am I building the right damn thing?
Yes.
You know, and do I understand my customer deeply? Because once you understand your customer deeply, you're going to understand how to find them.
But if you don't understand, but eventually you do have to address that advertising component, because if you're trying to get funded, you're trying to do something big. Like one of the things, it's actually, I say it in the promo video that we made before we ever published this. You know, really trying to build a startup should be about building something that's bigger than you. Mm-hmm. And with that you have to have help from a lot of people on a lot of things, and the likely nature is you're going to require someone else's capital, and it is very difficult to gain that capital if you can't define your acquisition strategy for gaining, or what the cost is, and you know, that can be different. I mean, some people can attract grassroots type stuff, and then some people are like, dude, this is expensive. We have to spend a lot of ads, but it might be worth it because, well, like for example with Stackify, like you guys get someone, they're installing your application performance management software in their server. It could theoretically sit there for like a long time and provide a lot of value over a long time. So it might be really valuable to pay more, where someone doesn't stick very long. You got to have an acquisition strategy and maybe a volume of it that is really high.
So a good example of this is actually Stackify's competitors. You know, they're selling to the same target market we are, but their average customer might pay $50,000 a year. So they'll spend a lot more money on advertising, where our average customer might spend $3,000 a year, and we can't afford to do the advertising.
Well, the same thing with Fullscale, and once again, this podcast is brought to you by Fullscale.io, which is a company that Matt and I own together, and you know, we help people with human capital, basically. Like, we help you build a team of expert developers in our office in the Philippines. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, but theoretically, these are still people that get wages and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's still costs a little more than like $8 a month. Right. So, but with that, the thing I actually enjoy about it is,
but like my Starbucks.
No, it's just a little bit more than that. But my point is with that though, it gives me a lot of flexibility as a marketer to know that I can do things like get a suite at a local venue, knowing that if that provides 1 or 2 clients or connections in the year, then it may have really paid for itself. Yep. So, but you got to understand like what's the value of
advertising
your client, like,
is so different from one company to another.
Because what I just described was like, it was a 6-figure purchase, which we paid money ahead of. And, you know, it's like, and then that's the thing is like, but understanding your approach too, because we want to have a relationship that lasts for a long time with our clients, not just be like, hey, sign up and we'll never talk to you again. And this, you know, but it's a different approach. So.
Right. Well, and I would just make a comment too on the startup thing.
Is it that you're only one pivot away from ruling the world?
Yes. Well, probably 2 or 3. No,
it's important that you're honest.
Yeah, you got to be real with yourself here. Don't lie to yourself. No, I think a lot of certainly startups think they need a gazillion users, and I think a lot of investors think you need a gazillion users. Actually, what you need, in my opinion, is to demonstrate that you know and can reliably reproduce your user acquisition cost.
Yes.
So for us, it costs us $3 to get a user. The next challenge is...
Is that real? Is that
Yeah.
real? Okay.
Yeah. So, and then how
And by
quickly...
the way, that's not a lot.
No, that's not a lot.
That's actually really affordable.
Yeah. So then how quickly do you get your $3 back?
Yes.
Or your $30 or your $300 or your $3,000? That's what matters. And that's what the music industry and everybody in digital media, when it comes to distribution, not what you did with, 808s or whatever, so it's not like production companies, but the media industry, that's what they seem to forget about. Like, oh, we need a gazillion users. And actually that'll help you maybe IPO, but ultimately, like, Spotify still loses $20 million a month, So what matters is your payback period on your user acquisition. So if you're going to go get a user, how quickly can you make that money back so that then you can turn around and use the same $3 to go buy the next user, get the money back, buy the next user, get the money back.
And then also at some point, if you need to, can you retract all of that spend?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
and
that's
just make money.
Yeah, and that's a difference too. Like that's one. Owning a tech services business at full scale, like that's something that we can't do that well. We can't just be like, okay, let's cut the costs in half tomorrow. And like some of that stuff is, but some of these things too is like the purpose of like some of the VC money that comes in might be to light a fuse, get something really going, and then at some point it now has enough momentum that it can start to carry itself. And that's all stuff you have to figure out. Good luck, startup founders, because that's tough, man. And by the way, guys, if you're in gals, if you're building stuff, take some time to sell something.
Yeah.
Like, do it. Don't make the mistake that we see so many people make, and they're like, product, funding. Like, sell something too.
It's a delicate balance.
Is that a good idea?
Yeah. It kind of all depends on what you're building. Yeah.
Well, Kyle,
different.
Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me, guys.
I do appreciate it. Bixy. Download the app. Team Bixy on Instagram.com, @Startup Hustle on the gram. See y'all next time.
Thank you.
Thanks.